Thank you, Mr. Crespo. Mr. Ramos. 1 minute, Mr. Ramos. If anyone would like to speak, you're going to have to raise your hand and identify yourself to your leaders, because I believe the lights have malfunctioned for a moment. So if you are intending to speak, please contact the floor leaders. Go ahead, Mr. Ramos. On the bill, Mr. Ramos.
I'd like to also commend the sponsor of this bill for bringing something forward that means a lot to a lot of people in this chamber here. The debate and the issue as I see it when it comes to the DREAM Act and funding the education of young people and immigration comes down to two issues. One is a moral issue and one is an economic one. And on the moral side, we all know the benefits. We all know the benefits. Those who argue against educating young people, giving them more earning power, are arguing for something that's going to hurt Americans and it's going to hurt society. When we have a young person and we marginalize them and we limit them to making minimum wage, in the end, what they pay to society in taxes is this much. If we give them an education, they pay this much. And they do it over and over again for the rest of their life. And it comes back to society. By marginalizing that young person, what are we doing? We're hurting American society by doing that. Those who, day after day, here speak about how they want to help businesses. They want government to invest to help businesses, and that is important. And they actually believe in socialism for the rich and free market for the poor, and have no problems with entitlements to help businesses create economic development, seem to have a problem with investing in somebody's education that will bring back returns year after year. The economic argument on this is one on all sides. This is an investment that comes back. But the problem is that some see these entitlements that they should only go to certain immigrants. Remember, we're all immigrants here. If you're not indigenous, if you're not American Indian, everybody here is a son or daughter or a descendant of an immigrant. But some people feel that certain immigrant groups have a sense of entitlement. 25 million immigrants came from Europe to this country between 1880 and 1924. They didn't need a visa. They didn't need any of the requirements that you needed today. They came to Ellis Island. A doctor looked in their mouth, and if they were healthy, they were allowed in. And they were given every benefit of citizenship. We heard a member stand up and talk about being the daughter of a Cuban immigrant. When a Cuban gets here, they get residency from day one. They get tuition. They get every benefit extended to all Americans. I guess it's good to be a Republican immigrant. Those, I would like to see if anybody is against those benefits. I am for them. They have helped the Cuban community prosper. And if you see in Miami and Florida, that contribution, that help given to that segment of the immigrant community has brought back its benefits in economic development. So who do we hurt? We heard another member here mention about how the pie is only so big, and we're hurting other people. If we're going to give to one, we're taking away from the others. And we actually heard the words, the shameful words, that this should be reserved for good Americans, as opposed to what? Bad immigrant children? My God, have we gotten to the ideology where we can justify punishing young people, limiting them for life, over something that they had nothing to do with? Regardless of what anybody feels about a person, an adult's decision to cross a border, that child did not take part in that decision. How can we, with any sense of humanity, justify marginalizing a young person for life? Is there anybody here who feels that any living soul on this earth has the right to punish your children for something that you did? Yet we see people standing up here trying to justify it. I urge all the members of this assembly to vote for this bill. This is something that is not only the humane thing to do, it makes economic sense, and we should send a message that the New York State Assembly supports all persons, residents of New York State. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ramos. Mr. Morelli.